because that's what brothers do. Written by Ashlee Jensen and narrated by Honickberg. My name is Ben, and my family is really lucky. We live right on the beach. I have a little brother named Max, and he goes to a school on the coastline. I go to a different school because the grown-ups told me I have trouble learning things the same as everyone else. I might not learn the same, but I'm really good at other things. When we are home together, Max and I go to the beach and explore as much as we can. I always help him, because that's what brothers do. Last week we were playing in a cove full of hidden treasures and rough crushed shells. Max picked up a big cone shell and wiped his fingers across the rim. He looked at me. Ben, where do shells come from? I knew this one and I could help because that's what brothers do. Shells grow on trees. I watched Max's eyes grow wide. I knew he was amazed. Really? He asked. Yup. But it can only be special trees that live on top of a hill. Otherwise the shells wouldn't roll down into the rivers. And then the river washes them out to the sea, but before they get lost forever, the waves catch them and push them up onto the beach. Okay, said Max, and we rolled shells off the rock into the tide pools. Yesterday we watched the sunset over the ocean before dinner. The big waves crashed and sucked up rocks and weed. Max looked at me. Ben, how do waves happen? That was easy. I knew this, and I'd gladly help, because that's what brothers do. Well, far out in the middle of the ocean is an island, and it's just for giants. Max's eyes opened wide. I knew he was amazed. Really? Yep. And because they have their own island, they can do whatever they like. So they have lots of dances. They dance and roar and jump up and down in the water and make lots of splashes which get bigger and bigger and finally wash up onto our beach as waves. Okay, said Max, and that night we crashed our toy dinosaurs in the bath water and watched our own waves grow. Today Max and I found some crab holes down a dune. We sat really still and watched hundreds of ghost crabs roll tiny balls of sand out of their homes. Max leaned over to me. Ben, he whispered, why do crabs make those? That was easy. I knew this, and I'd be happy to help, because that's what brothers do. Well, because there are so many crabs living together, they like having races. Max's eyes opened wide. I knew he was amazed. Really? Yup. They make all sorts of races. Who can run the fastest sideways? Who eats the quickest? And who can make the biggest and neatest pile of sand? And there's so many, and they all join in and celebrate at the end by clapping their biggest claws. Okay, said Max, and we raced all the way home and up the stairs, and we celebrated with a high five. I let him win because sometimes that's what big brothers do. While Max was brushing his teeth, I saw his homework book. It had lots of things Max was learning at school, so I went over and looked. There were pictures and words written all about the beach. On the pages it said that shells didn't grow on trees. They were made by animals, then thrown away when they were too small. Waves weren't made by giants. It was different wind patterns, and crabs didn't have races. They made sandballs after they had eaten all the food in it. I went to bed and thought about a lot of things. When I woke up, I had breakfast with Max. We sat and ate cereal together. I looked at Max. Max, I said quietly, why did you ask me all those questions if you already knew the answers? Max looked at me. Well, that's what my teachers say, but I like your answers better. My eyes opened wide and a smile pulled at the side of my mouth. Really? Yeah. And besides, he leant over and poured me the rest of the juice. That's what brothers do. Today we spent the whole day at the beach making our own stories. Because that's what brothers do.